Today I'm going to be teaching you how to slappy feeble grind and the #1 technique that's going to help you lock into this trick every single try. Slappy feebles are way easier than you think, and I actually landed the first one I ever tried using this technique. So the foot positioning on this trick is going to be having your back foot on the tail in the toe side pocket. I like having my front foot either covering the lower bolts of my front truck or just below the bolts, and I'll get into why that placement is so important when you're coming out of the grind in a second. Now on a slappy crooked grind, I like to approach the curb at a 45-degree angle, but with a slappy feeble, I like to cut that angle shorter and aim for about a 30-degree angle. So I'm a little more parallel with the curb. Speed is going to be key for this trick, since the faster you go, the easier it'll be to slappy into the feeble, and the longer and more fluid you'll be able to hold the grind. But obviously start off with a speed that's more comfortable for you when you're learning this trick, and work to get faster and faster each time. Maybe even start off at the end of the curb like this too, just to start getting a feel for this trick. Now this might sound a bit dumb, but as you're approaching the curb, I want you to imagine that you're skating a really tiny, steep quarter pipe. With that in mind, your feet in the right position and approaching the curb at that 30-degree angle, this is where the technique is going to come into play and have you locking into this grind every single try. So as you're approaching the curb, you're going to lift your front wheels up out of the way, while at the same time pushing all of the weight into that toe side pocket and lifting your heel. This is going to get the front truck up out of the way and allow your heel side wheel to slappy up the curb and lock into that feeble grind. Now this movement happens quick, so once your heel side wheel is up on top of the curb, you need to put the weight back onto your heel to lock in and hold the feeble grind. Having your front foot over the bolts or just below is going to come in handy when you get to the end of the curb and you're trying to lift up out of the feeble. But at the same time, you want to keep that weight on your heel as you lift up. Otherwise, if you just lift your front foot up, the board most likely flips over into primo or flips over completely. So as you're lifting up, keep the weight on your heel so it lifts up evenly and comes out of the ground properly. Now that's the full process of doing the entire slappy feeble grind, and using that technique, putting all the weight down, lifting your heel to let that heel side wheel roll up, is going to have you locking into that grind every single try. Now I'm going to do a few more slappy feebles so you can see the technique from each angle and see exactly how easy it is to get up into this feeble grind consistently using this tip. So that is the slappy feeble grind. I will add, if you don't have the weight on your heels and your shoulders start to turn, it's going to drop into a board slide so easily. So try and keep your shoulders square with the curb. And if anything, if you are picturing the curb as a steep, tiny quarter pipe, imagine when you're in the feeble that you're trying to keep your weight in the quarter pipe. If you feeble a quarter and you have your weight on the deck, you're just going to roll off onto the deck. So treat it the same way. Once you get into the grind, keep the weight on your heel to lock that feeble. Try and keep your weight on the inside of the curb as your shoulders are straight and parallel with the curb. Now you can have your front foot higher up on the board if you want to make it easier to pivot and turn out 180 out of the feeble, or have your front foot even lower around the middle of the board if you want to pop out of the curb early. But they are a little more advanced and something you can work towards once you master the technique of getting up into that slappy feeble grind. A lot of you guys requested I do a slappy frontside and backside 50-50 video, which I'll be working on soon. But in the meantime, let me know how this slappy feeble grind technique helps you guys. Check out the slappy crooked grind video I did right here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.